Welcome to Creamer Media's Resources Watch, a weekly video roundup of the events and people making and shaping the news in the mining industry. This week, Copper 360 on home straight to produce quite a bit of cash. Reserve Bank concern about decline of public markets, a welcome development. And artificial intelligence used to eliminate the need for rare earths in permanent magnets. Copper mining and marketing company Copper 360 is on the home straight to produce quite a bit of cash by financial year end.
But I think the key takeaway is that we've now turned the corner. We've put in a battery farm that can negate the effects of load shedding. We are cash positive on both plants at the moment and building up to, within the next 3 months, to 70 million rand of monthly revenue with a profit margin of 50%. So we've turned the corner. We've got 3 plants that will produce within the next 3 months. A rock coming from Rietberg and Jubilee, which gives us a lot of flexibility. And we're now on the home straight to produce quite a bit of cash.
The concern that South Africa's Reserve Bank expressed last week on the state of the country's public markets is seen as a welcome development.
We've not seen even an in-depth analysis or diagnosis or understanding or report or study into this issue from either the JSE or National Treasury, except just last week, we saw the South African Reserve Bank come out with their financial stability report, and for the first time, an official regulator in South Africa has expressed concern on the state of our public markets and how shallow those markets have become. And that's a welcome development, because it's been very frustrating to have National Treasury simply say there's nothing to see here, there's no problem, which is quite different to what's happened in other markets. For example, in the UK, which has also seen a decline in the number of listed companies, 60% decline in the number of listed companies over the last few decades. They've pulled out all the stops to investigate the issue, implement reform initiatives, really try and get into why it is that our public markets are not performing as we would like. And we're just not seeing the same energy in South Africa. It's almost like National Treasury is not interested.
Discovering new materials has historically been slow. Now, AI is making it possible to discover a material entirely computationally and have it verified experimentally.
There are mainly 5 groups of magnetic material that have been discovered since maybe the beginning of the 1900s. 2 of those are rare earth element containing compositions, so things like neodymium iron boron and samarium cobalt. The majority of the other magnets that are in use do not contain rare earth elements, so these are things like alnico and your ferrite magnets, which are very widely used. So it's actually more common to have magnets which don't include rare earth elements, but those magnets are usually much lower performance than what you can get with rare earth element containing magnets. The downside is, however, that the rare earth elements are extremely costly to get hold of, both in terms of economics and the environment. You have to do strip mining and a lot of expensive processing to separate out the ores. But those rare earth elements are crucial to getting the kind of high magnetic performance that we see. The other magnets that we're talking about, these things like ferrite magnets, these are more common in things like fridge magnets and very low performance speakers and headphones and things like this. What is rare, however, is to discover a magnet at all. So there haven't been any kind of innovations in the magnetic space for maybe 40 years since neodymium iron boron was discovered in the late 1970s, early 1980s. So what we're trying to demonstrate here is that we can do in record time this whole materials discovery process. We've done this in 3 months versus the decades and hundreds of millions of dollars that it usually takes to go from the idea or the accidental discovery of something to commercialization.
For mining news as it breaks, stay logged on to miningweekly.com and register for our free daily newsletter.